Previously on Spenelli Speaks, which is I've got book mail! Oh my gosh, I got book mail! Hi everyone, Danny here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you my February TBR, and I am hesitating in my words because I had not realized how jam-packed February was going to be until I started to find all my notes of what I was intending to do for February, and this is what it ended up looking like. This is my February TBR. I don't know how that happened, so we're gonna work through it together. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you have taken some time to hit that subscribe button. Today's TBR is going to be all over the place, so I hope you stick around, hit that notification bell so that you can see when all of these books get read, because I'm going to do my darndest to get that done. Because what you will see in a future wrap-up for January, I had a really difficult time reading the books that I wanted to actually read last month. So that aside, let's go ahead and talk about these books. For my February TBR, I have it broken up in a couple of different areas. And the first book I'm going to talk about is a book that I really wanted to read last month and actually never got a chance to even open it up. And that is Mistress of Spices. Now, if you recall from my January TBR, I was really excited to read this, and then for several reasons, I wasn't able to actually open it up. Those reasons being, I reorganized all of my shelves and I did, for the first time, my bullet journal, and that took up a lot of my time. That was a lot of filming, it was a lot of editing, so ultimately I did not get to any of the books that I was kind of reading on my own. I was able to still read like all of my buddy reads and whatnot, and I'll talk about that more in my wrap-up. But let's continue on my TBR. So after that Mistress of Spices, everything else is like a buddy read in a readathon, or it's part of the Booktube Prize. Yes, I am participating in way too many things, but it's going to be really good because a lot of books that are within these categories are really spectacular books, so I'm excited to have a really good reading month. So let's talk about those buddy reads first. Now, I know I said before that I was trying to limit my buddy reads to 2 per month. Yeah, so I have 3 this month, as well as my buddy read with Laura over at Book Bubbler. We are doing a year-long buddy read of a series of books. So that book that I'm going to be reading with her this month is The Mask of the Black Tulip. And I am picking that up from my library, so you should see an image right here. But the first book, you'll see more in my wrap-up, was pretty good, so I'm excited about this one. Essentially, this is set in the late 1800s, around a league of individuals who, between London and from England and France, they are like a spy network, a league of spies who are saving revolutionaries from the guillotine. Then I will be reading The Wizard of Oz with Charlie from Bookish Raider. I have to get this darn sticker off. I'm gonna have to use Goo Gone, but obviously you know what Wizard of Oz is. We'll be reading that in February. I will also be reading We Were the Lucky Ones with Melissa Reads over on Instagram, and I'll link all of these people's channels or handles to other social media in the description below. This is a historical fiction. It's set in Poland, I believe, and it follows a family through their experiences in the Holocaust throughout and thereafter. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard really great things, so we'll be buddy reading that as well. The last buddy read that I have is with Kim over at Bookmarks and Breadsticks. We are going to be reading Nathan's Hot Dogs. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'll put a picture here. That's another one that I'm picking up at the library. And it's basically about this family's journey with the hot dog. I think they set up shop on Coney Island, and it's just a nonfiction about that. As you know, Kim from Bookmarks and Breadsticks reads all food-related books. So not cookbooks, but like, you know, memoirs and the invention of and the discovery of, those kind of things. So I really wanted to be able to read with her because it's such a niche network of books, and I don't really get into those a lot. So I'm really excited to read with somebody who has a lot of experience with that. And I think it's gonna be a great buddy read. So after my buddy reads, I have a few like read-alongs or readathons that I'm doing. I know, why do I add all this on my plate? But I pretty much decided that I was going to join in on Christie's read-along. There's a couple of different people taking part in that. I believe it's Una and Crypto from the Codex Cantina, Peg from the History Shelf, and then Victoria from A Musical Bookworm. They are hosting the Brothers Karamazov. I don't know how to say it. It's Russian. It's a huge book. I'm going to be listening to it on audio. It is 37 hours long. I will be doing that on double speed. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So I'm excited to participate with them. That is a group full of so many bright minds that I'm so excited. You know, Victoria has the musical background. Crypto and Una have such a depth and wealth of knowledge in, you know, classic literature and just literary fiction in general that I really love hearing their thoughts. Christy, obviously our resident expert on all things Dostoevsky. She'll go, oh no, Danny, I'm not. But she does really have a keen eye for that Russian author. And then obviously Peg at the History Shelf. Oh my gosh, I binge watch her sometimes, and I just love all of her hauls, all of her historical books that she picks up, you know, U.S. history, Russian, I mean, she's just all over the place, and I love it. So definitely check out all of their channels. I'll put that in the link below as well. Then another readathon that I wasn't anticipating on joining, and then I watched their announcement videos and I was like, gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to join that. And it's just like, yeah, twist my arm, Danny. So the Historathon, hosted by Amanda at the Curly Reader and Angie over at Science Mama. They are hosting the Historathon, and they have a really great setup for the readathon. It's really great. I will link their announcement videos as well as their recommendation videos below. They have done a really solid job of setting this up for us. They have a group read, they'll have a live show, they have a lot of different things put together on that. So in that, there's a couple of different prompts that you can follow, and it's like a bingo board. There are several here, and I'm actually going to try to get as many as I can done, and I'm going to do it by audio so that I can still read the things that I need to read physically. So I am going to try to do that. Now, We Were the Lucky Ones is a historical fiction. I'm not quite sure which one that may fall into. I don't know if it even will, but I do have a couple of other books that I'm going to try to get to. So one of the prompts is a book set in a place you have visited. And I picked Royal Witches. I'll put a picture here. Now, I have been to England, so that story is based in England, and I also feel like this fits the prompt of a subgenre of historical fiction because it's like fantasy. I don't know too much about it. I just saw it on my Hoopla account, and I was like, that looks interesting, and then when this readathon came up, I was like, oh, maybe I can pick that for those two prompts. The next book that I'm going to be reading actually fulfills like 4 prompts, so I'm really excited. It's The Mountains Sing. So The Mountains Sing, and I did not write down author names, but I'll put a link here or a picture here. This actually covers a couple of different prompts. So it covers a book by a diverse author. It covers a book with no people on the cover. It covers a multi-generational book. And it also covers a book with a book about a war, not World War II, because this covers a family's journey. I think it's from Vietnam, and it covers their struggles and through the generations, and I'm really excited to read this one. I really like historical events based around wars. I know that sounds really weird, but what I mean is there's so much more happening than the war itself. There's so much happening to the country, to the people, and those are the stories that I love to read about because you just need to see every side. So I'm really excited that I had access to this on my Hoopla account because I would love to read about this and find out more. I had previously, a couple months ago, read a graphic novel, and it was a multi-generational graphic novel, memoir actually, and it was about a Vietnamese family, and it was really impactful to me. So I would like to read this one for sure. So I'm excited about that. And then I have My Dear Hamilton, which was gonna cover the prompt of a book that's not about World War II, and then also a book with a name on the cover because it's actually about the Revolutionary War and Alexander Hamilton. So I am excited to read that because I've heard really good things about that book, so I would like to get that under my belt as well. So thankfully, I only have about 3 or 4 books for all of the prompts, which is great because hopefully I can get those all done in audio considering February is only 28 days long. That said, I have one more category of books that I have to get read this month. I am participating in the Booktube Prize this year, and I am in a group of nonfiction readers this round. And I think I'm in group A. I'll have to look at that, and maybe I'll put an image here if I can remember, but I do know all the books that I'm supposed to be reading. So in the month of February, I'm going to try to get 3 of the 6 selections read. Now, I won't be able to tell you anything about the books as far as like my ratings or anything until the round is complete. So all I'll be able to let you know is which ones I'll be reading. So for sure in February, I will start Barack Obama's book, which is A Promised Land, because it is quite long. It's about 700 pages long. So I'll definitely get to this one right away so that if it overlaps into March, I still have time to finish it. So that's one of the books that I'll be reading for the Booktube Prize. Then I have another selection there. I believe it's actually a grouping of essays, and that is World of Wonders by Aimee. Ooh, I'm not going to try to even say that last name. It is quite a last name, but I actually found that on my Hoopla account as an ebook. So thankfully, with my Amazon Fire, I'll be able to download that and read that. So because I only have so many days with that on my Hoopla account before I would have to renew it, I'm going to try to get that read right straight away as well. So World of Wonders is also in my category, my grouping. And then the other one that I'm going to try to get read in February is Intimations by Zadie Smith. That's another grouping of essays. So I'll get those 3 read here in February. And again, I won't be able to really tell you anything about them through a wrap-up or anything until the round is complete. Okay, so all said and done, that looks like about 20 books that I'm gonna have to read in February. So I'm really hoping that I'm able to get through them all, especially the ones that I've promised to read with other people. That is my main priority, the buddy reads. So it looks like I have about 4 buddy reads that I need to read this month, which is great because they're all in different lengths and they're all in different categories or genres of reading. So I won't feel like I'm weighed down by the same kind of thing over and over again. I definitely need to break straight into those Booktube Prize books because I said I was going to do it, and when I have, you know, a goal set in mind, I really want to make sure I get those done and not let anybody down at the end of the day. And then of course the Historathon, whatever I can get done. I don't feel like I am expected to get all of those done, but I would really like to. I love historical fiction, but I find that I don't read it as often as I would like to, so I'm hoping that I can get as far into that as I can. And I'm really excited to be joining reading Amanda and Angie, because they're just such wonderful women that I really look up to them, and I really appreciate their channel. So I'm excited to be able to read along with them. And of course, I'm gonna get that Mistress of Spices read because I really want to read it. I've been really excited about that book, and I just keep pushing it off because there's other responsibilities as far as buddy reads and whatnot. So I want to get into that. Tell me, if you are reading any of these books, what are you reading for the Historathon? What are you, if you are participating in the Booktube Prize, are you in my group? Or what group are you in, and what are you happen to be reading for this first round? Other than that, I hope you all are taking care and staying safe. Of course, reading something great. And until next time, you know how it goes. Happy reading. Bye. Next time on Spenelli Speaks. Invisible Women, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men.